Hello all, welcome to another quick learning. Today we're going back to CodeSignal to work on the database SQL coding exercises. If you're joining this in the middle of the playlist, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description below so you can start from the beginning if you wish. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to the arcade. I'm going to databases here. And then we were still on this section selecting what to select, and we're on closestCells. So you're playing a game on a rectangular checkerboard with a specific set of rules. Each game piece has a unique ID, and each cell on the board is defined by its X and Y coordinates. The current positions of your pieces on the board are stored in the positions table with the following structure. So there's an ID, there's an XY coordinate for each piece. In this game, each piece on the board is said to defend its nearest neighbor. The distance between two pieces is calculated simply as the distance between the points x1, y1 and x2, y2, where x1, y1 and x2, y2 are the coordinates of the cells occupied by the first and the second piece respectively. You thought it would be a good idea to find what piece each of the game pieces defends. Given the positions table, compose the resulting table with two columns, ID1 and ID2, such that on each row the piece with ID1 defends the piece with ID2, i.e. ID2 is the closest to ID1. The table should be sorted by the values of ID1 in ascending order. It is guaranteed that for each piece there's only one other piece closest to it. Okay, so you've got a table like this. It's just the ID of the piece and then the XY coordinates. And they want an output that shows for the first piece what's the closest piece to it. So let's go to this graphical representation here. So if you look for piece 1, so they actually have it labeled here, the closest piece to it is ID2, and you see that's why it's got ID2 here. For piece 2, the closest one to it is 4. Let's see there. For 3, the closest piece is going to be 4, and for 4, the closest piece is going to be 2. All right, so it takes a little nuance to figure this one out. So let's go ahead and show you the solution to this. And actually, I'm going to do order by a.id. All right, because they wanted it ordered by values in ID1 ascending. All right, so first I'm just going to pull the ID from the positions table. So this is just going to pull 1, 2, 3, 4 in this example. So we're going to get basically this first column. And then how I'm going to attach the ID2 is I'm going to put for the second column another select statement. In this statement I'm going to select the ID from the positions table again. Just so they're not confused, I put A and B, so A is the outer one and B is the inner one. And then for the where clause, I'm going to make sure that A is not equal to B, because obviously the closest one to the first one in this table is going to be itself. It's going to be 0 distance away, so we got to make sure they're not equal. And then we're going to order by, so this, if you remember how to do the distance between XY coordinates, you take, the X coordinate minus the X coordinate, and you take it to the second power, and then plus Y coordinate minus the Y coordinate taken to the second power, all under the square root. So this just gives you a measure of the distance between the first coordinate value and the second coordinate value that we're going to pull using this select query. And then we're going to limit it to 1, so it's going to be the one that is closest to that ID. So in this one, it'll pull number 2 because that is the closest to 1. I don't need the square root. You could put it in here if you wanted to, but we just need some way to order them by distance. So if we go ahead and run that, we'll see that that is the correct answer. So that is how you can find the closest XY coordinate to one ID to the other in the same table. Alright, hope you guys are able to follow along with that, and I hope you join me for future videos and maybe subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.